Voices for Equality.
It's our opportunity to celebrate. It's needed.
Building one another up amid challenges.
I end up getting kicked out. I end up sleeping in parks.
Through love, tolerance, and the arts.
Let's just come out, have fun, and let us entertain you, honey.
Because representation matters.
If we could have more role models, the more the better.
As we celebrate Atlanta Pride. Hi, I'm Andy Perotti. Atlanta's October Pride Parade may not be happening this year, but the celebration of our vibrant LGBT community is thriving. Through our Voices for Equality series, we'll take a closer look at the issues that matter. Growing support for tolerance, understanding, and love. No matter who we talk to about Pride, one theme stands out: representation matters. Pictures of Pride in 2021. Atlanta's LGBT community celebrating throughout the city.
Tonight we play it wild.
But it's really about us. It's our opportunity to celebrate. It's needed.
Amber Moore is Vice President of Atlanta's Black Gay Pride. Why is it needed?
Because we have come so far. Not being able, when you can't express yourself, when you can't dress the way you want to, when you can't love who you want to, that can be depressing. So prides allow us to be able to say, I might not be able to express myself so much in my office, but I have a place where I can exhale and I can be me. And that's very important.
There's so much beauty to our community and we have such a rich legacy.
Malik Brown is the City of Atlanta's Director of LGBTQ Affairs. He advises the Mayor's Office on policy, programming, and initiatives important to an estimated 200,000 LGBTQ constituents in the metro area. His position was never held before in any southern city until Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms created it in 2018.
It means the South is changing and progress is coming, and we're hoping that other cities follow suit.
A city hall that says it understands representation matters.
So fire, correction, and police all have LGBTQ liaisons. The mayor's senior advisor is openly gay. Our press secretary is openly gay. And so it really is an environment where you can be yourself and bring your authentic self to work, which is really good for me as a gay man and my colleagues.
A community proud of its progress with marriage equality and more protections at work, but challenges persist. Violence against trans people remains a concern, as well as discrimination and access to health care.
When I walk out my door, I'm not only black, I'm a woman, and I'm a lesbian, and I'm a masculine lesbian. So therefore, I have 3 levels of armor, which means that also there's less opportunity for me to be able to know what resources might be available to me. And Atlanta is, in my opinion, is the mecca of the South for information for gays, black gays. So when you come to Atlanta, there are so many opportunities for our transgender to be able to get resources, for our lesbians to be able to get resources, for our gay men to be able to get resources. Let's just look at Georgia. Georgia has such small little towns that are possibly not gay friendly yet. They're undercover, like, oh, it's okay, just don't bring it to my neighbor kind of thing. But you do have gay people in these little rural areas that don't get to see others that are like them. They don't get to be celebrated. They don't get the education about being able to be yourself.
What do you say to a young person that may be watching this that's still scared to come out?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds cliche, but it does get better. Our world continues to evolve, and especially the South continues to evolve. In Atlanta, if you're gonna be gay, Atlanta's the best place to do it. So it's really a good time for our city and our people.
More than 12% of Atlantans are part of the LGBT community. That's the 3rd highest percentage in the nation. It's also part of the reason the city now has an LGBTQ Commission to help navigate their unique challenges and to help promote inclusivity. Atlanta now joins cities like San Francisco and New York, making LGBTQ rights a priority.
We realized that we needed to create community, an equitable, safe environment for the visitors, residents, and workers of Atlanta and the LGBTQ community.
Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms formed Atlanta's first ever LGBTQ Commission shortly after taking office. It's about more than just a rainbow crosswalk and pride parade.
The biggest impact that we're seeing with trans
affairs that we see with our youth, investment in our community and development, and our health, which is also a big component of the work that's being done.
Another goal, helping fight the AIDS epidemic. According to the CDC, Georgia has the third highest rate in the nation. That's why the commission is working to expand services.
Our advancement of HIV protection and medicines and medication across the community, our commitment to housing and employment for the community.
City employees are also taking part in the new LGBTQ cultural humility training.
It's been done a very targeted and focused on authenticity, individuality, and acceptance. And I think that's what we all strive for in this community in Atlanta.
It's all part of the effort to increase inclusivity and understanding. For young people who identify as LGBTQ+, coming out could literally mean risking the roof over their head. Madison Carter is digging into why so many homeless youth are part of this community and how an Atlanta nonprofit is fighting to give them a place to call home.
A lot can be said about Ivy.
Is there anything you want to ask me?
But under the right conditions, there's beauty in the climb.
I grew up in Thomasville, Georgia.
22-year-old Ivy became part of the 40% of homeless youth that identify as LGBTQ when she made the decision to uproot from southern Georgia weeks ago.
I had family issues when it came to knowing who I was, and they didn't like the way I was because I didn't live up to their expectations of how they wanted me to be.
Homelessness also is not just people we see out in tents. Homelessness also looks like when you are couch surfing or you don't have a stable environment because home is unsafe, because you don't feel comfortable and you have to hide who you are.
Like many, she left home with just a tendril of hope for a better life.
I ended up getting kicked out. I ended up sleeping in parks and like the streets and stuff, and it wasn't a good place for me.
Ivy ended up at a facility where all seemed lost before she found new, more fertile ground to stand on here in Atlanta.
Most of the time, yes, because they're coming off the street. So definitely there's some type of fear. They're running away, especially from family.
She now lives at Lost and Found, a safe haven for LGBTQ youth aged 18 to 25 inside Park Avenue Baptist Church in Grant Park.
I've gotten fed, I done got a roof over my head, I done got a bunk bed, and I could watch TV.
For many, it's a safe haven for more than just what they faced at home.
The trauma of experiencing the rejection and abandonment from family members can also, unfortunately, in the most extreme and tragic instances, result in life-ending consequences. And so there's a link between suicide and homelessness. But we also see high rates of depression, anxiety, high-risk behaviors.
But this is just a place to get grounded.
All good things come to an end, and it'd be nice if it was a forever home, but unfortunately, we have to, get them off their feet.
A lot of people over here has gone through some things, and they come over here to be able to learn how to cope and try to deal with it to have a better life.
Lost and Found helps youth find their way home, sometimes for the very first time.
There's a common term in LGBTQ communities called chosen family. And so there are other adults and other people who can be safe places.
A lot can be said, but few things are true about Ivy. It is determined, it's constantly growing toward the light, and she is sure to take over.
If you have the drive to do it, and you have the passion to do it, and you urge it, and you got that energy and that craving to want to do what you love, then you'll be able to get it done, just like that.
Coming up, lessons in love.
PFLAG used to have a saying that was, when you no longer need PFLAG, PFLAG needs you.
How one organization is helping families learn to navigate new identities and spaces. Plus, see the visible impact of the new symbols of pride.
The mural just represents unity, visibility in the LGBTQ+ community. It tells a story about the history of pride in Atlanta.
Those stories and more, next. Coming out takes courage, but there's growing support for families learning to navigate new spaces. That's where PFLAG comes in. Our Hope Forward shows us how one mother's love is helping countless families flourish amid change.
An hour-long interview with Ann and Adam Miller resulted in countless amounts of spontaneous laughter. The mother-son duo as close as can be, even though once upon a time, Adam wasn't Adam.
I vaguely remember telling her I wanted to be a boy when I was about 5.
Oh, that one's cute. Look how cute I am.
It's really faded. Honestly, I tell this a lot to parents. I buried that thought because I didn't want a transgender child.
Both Adam and Ann submerged to those thoughts for different reasons.
As a parent, the last thing you want is more hardship for your child.
I was very much a people pleaser, very much a goodist, very much a perfectionist, high achieving type, because I was trying to smash that side of myself down.
For Adam, it was inevitable and important that he step into his true self, and Ann decided to walk with him by joining PFLAG, the largest and oldest nonprofit organization for LGBTQ people and their families.
It gave me support, it met me where I was.
And it allowed Ann to meet Adam where he was.
She was immediately going to support meetings, immediately affirming it, immediately trying to help me. I was able to talk to her about my gender questioning before I had even reached the conclusion yet.
The journey wasn't an easy one. Adam started transitioning in college after years of questioning. That was 8 years ago.
This is just me living as people do.
And as Adam explored his identity, so did Ann.
PFLAG used to have a saying that was, when you no longer need PFLAG, PFLAG needs you. And I took that to heart. And I became a facilitator to help other parents.
What was that giggle about, though? I think she definitely took it to heart. She went right in.
I take things to heart.
Went right in, helping grow local PFLAG chapters, and is now the regional director of the Gulf region.
Hi, I'm Ann. I'm trying to make our little corner of the world a better, more educated place.
As Adam borrowed a page from his mother's book.
I'm a life coach for LGBTQ people.
What started as an urge to hide became the reason the pair helps others see.
Every month there would be new families coming that needed us, and we knew that we were doing life-saving work. We knew we were saving lives.
And they'll do it together with a lot of love.
I told you no, Bobo. Did not listen.
And even more laughter.
Art is the heart of the LGBT community. It's another way we're leaving our mark on the city. Natisha Lance unveils the newest symbol to encourage people to embrace gay rights and continue to work for improvements.
A vision of pride vividly washed over bricks in southeast Atlanta. It's a mural capturing 50 years of history in the LGBTQ+ community.
The mural just represents unity, visibility in the LGBTQ+ community. It tells a story about the history of pride in Atlanta.
From the Chattahoochee River to cycling and the iconic rainbow flag that flows as a symbol of pride. Each detail serves a purpose.
It's a lot of intricate details that I encourage people to dive into the history of Pride in Atlanta. I think that this is a conversation starter. It helps people walk by and say, wow, what's that?
The project was sponsored by the Consulate General of Canada in conjunction with their 50-year Pride celebration.
Gay rights is at the core of what makes a society healthy, functioning, and safe for us all.
They wanted to create something meaningful to live within an Atlanta community. The once brick wall on the side of Dad's garage in southeast Atlanta made for the perfect spot.
We are very excited to support Atlanta Pride, the Canadian Consulate, to put up this beautiful mural.
Beautiful, yes, but also a reminder of work that still needs to be done.
We just need to remember that the fight isn't over and that there are a lot of challenges that we still face, challenges politically, challenges just in everyday life.
They're fierce, feisty, and so much fun.
Let's just come out, have fun, and let us entertain you, honey.
Why Atlanta plays a key role in the vibrant drag community. RuPaul's Drag Race is one of the most awarded reality TV shows in history. And RuPaul got his start right here in Atlanta, helping lay the foundation for fabulous festivities. Savannah Levins takes us inside Atlanta's drag scene.
Atlanta is like drag boot camp.
No, it is like the mecca of drag. For it to be this phenomenon that it is really kind of a cool thing to watch.
Brian Trapp is becoming Phoenix.
It's like a mythological bird that rises from the ashes, it recreates itself.
You might recognize her from the wildly successful show RuPaul's Drag Race.
And what? As someone who started doing drag way before Drag Race was even thought about, I never dreamed that drag would be what it is now.
RuPaul got her start in Atlanta in the 70s, when a handful of bars were hosting some of the first female impersonation competitions and cabarets. Its emergence came on the heels of a 1969 police raid on the Ansley Mini Cinema in Midtown, which was showing a movie featuring a male character dressed as a woman. 10 police officers blocked all 3 exits of the theater, questioning and photographing all 70 audience members, arresting several. The outrage that followed led to the formation of some of Georgia's first LGBTQ organizations. And the following year, Atlanta hosted its first ever Pride March.
For so long, it was very underground, and people didn't really understand why a man would want to dance around in heels.
Now, decades later, it's Atlanta Pride Month, and Phoenix and other Drag Race alumni are headlining a show together.
It's a packed full night. We've completely sold out.
Drag Race fan fave Lala Ree is from Atlanta too.
I was just always fascinated by like the glitz and the glam and all of that. It's just mind-blowing to me, the way that people accept it and appreciate it, like even non-LGBT people. Even my hood aunties and uncles enjoy RuPaul's Drag Race, and not just RuPaul's Drag Race, drag as a whole, and it just for them to accept it, that is just like amazing to me.
For me, it's an art form. I do my own makeup, I can make costumes, I can do hair, I can perform. Queens are just these well-rounded artists, so I'm glad the world's finally being able to see it.
Attending a drag show today is about entertainment, about glitz and glamour and self-expression. And it's front row, first-hand proof that a new era is here. And it's looking fabulous.
Let's just come out, have fun, and let us entertain you, honey. Let us entertain you.
And as RuPaul loves to say, we're all born naked, the rest is drag.
Growing up, basically, I was not comfortable. I didn't have a role model.
Sometimes it's the little things that can make all the difference, how a single story left a lasting impact. You guys ready? All right, let's go. Hi, I'm Andy. I'm a brother, a son, an uncle, a runner, an investigative reporter at 11Alive News in Atlanta, and I happen to be gay. Last year, I produced a story about an archaic rule that prohibits most gay men from donating blood and plasma, even if they had the life-saving antibodies after recovering from COVID-19. For the first time in my career, I identified myself as gay in a story because I was one of the recovered COVID patients who was turned down after offering to donate my plasma. But when they learned I was also gay, they said that I couldn't participate. It was a fleeting moment in a story, but it was a big deal for me. I remember being so nervous. I texted my boss just to make sure it was okay, and she reassured me. Months later, I'm at the dentist's office. And right before I leave my dentist,
Hi, I'm Dr. George Michaels.
He stopped me and he said, I saw your story.
Well, you made an impression on me, and I saw a segment that you had. You came out saying that you were a gay man.
He said to me in his 20+ years living in Atlanta, he never heard a TV reporter recognize themselves as gay on TV.
It wasn't that long ago. I can remember that reporters or newscasters would get fired for being gay. And I just thanked him for doing what he did and basically being a role model that so many of us don't have or didn't have growing up. I know as a gay person how hard it is interacting in a straight world. And growing up, basically, I was not comfortable. I didn't have a role model growing up. And if we could have more role models that, like me, or like you, Andy, the more the better.
That meant the world to me. It reminded me how important representation matters and made me feel so grateful that I work at a company that makes me feel safe to be me. It is a good place to work and even better place to live. thank you for joining us for this celebration of Pride. Learn more about these stories and more on 11alive.com/voices.